Howdy do, I am Bacon, and recently I found a strange guy on our favorite racism app, Instagram. Now usually when I find someone on Instagram, I can identify at least like one thing about them. Their hobbies, their interests, something. But this guy, I have absolutely no idea what I'm looking at. I mean, just look at the title, on this video, for example. Brother, that's not a title. That's like me dropping my calculator, down a flight of stairs. And just, oh, well, that's my title for today's video, guys. His titles are like some alien dialect, or, it's like my Wi-Fi password, or some shit. Listen to this clip, just listen to his wise words.
As you can see in the distance behind me, directly behind me, but a little bit away in the different sector, that is the green Travelog processing plant that I have featured on previous videos. I just thought I'd give you a different view from it, from a different sector. There are 4 Travelog outbreaks in this sector.
This is like actual found footage from Area 51 being transcended into Instagram for us to view. Naturally after seeing, his beautiful content, I had a question. Well, I had a lot of questions actually. I'm sure you also have a lot of questions about this guy. Why does, every file name, his titles look like some Epstein files encryption, that we're not allowed to see because I am orange and I like Obama. I don't fucking know. It sounds like he's announcing the beginning of some galactic war that he's doing with the Trevlokian people and the Kando species. He's saving us from the 75th generation sector. What even is Trevlok? The word Trevlok just sounds like something you would say in a mirror 3 times and like some demon would appear, like Bloody Mary. Trevlok, Trevlok, Trevlok. I don't think it works, guys. So I found out, Trevlok is, I guess, a species, or it's like some crystal he talks about. There's different kinds of colors. But first, I needed to find out, more about this guy. Why he's so crazy. So I tried to, ask for an interview with him. To my surprise, he did answer. But he did say, $500 for 15 minutes of his precious time. So I just found someone else that already did it. A guy by the name Jack Clarke did interview him back in 2025, I think in January or so. And he also stopped posting after 2025. So I have a feeling, Paul Hind, this guy, probably abducted him, to transcend into the Trevlokian people, into the Sector 25. But this guy's just crazy, I expected a normal guy, like someone actually talking, like ice cream guy, ice cream man, he's crazy. But at least he has like some humanity inside of him. Some backstory before we get into this interview. I googled Paul Hind, to see if he has like TikTok channels. He does have TikTok. And, all of his different channels, or, something more about him personally. And I found out, there's the first thing that pops up is a news article about him bullying a girl after she dies. And bullying the family. And, somehow it still has, like 10 followers. Well, let me go check. Oh! He has 225,000 followers, and people, you don't know this. That's why I'm covering him. But bruh, so here's a little bit of the audio, the podcast Jack Clarke had with Paul Hind, and of course his socials are down below, and the audio if you want to check it out yourself.
Paul Hind, yes, that Paul Hind is not just a TikTok sensation, but a self-proclaimed commander from the 75th century. His mission: to protect us all from existential threats like Trevloks and an alien race known as the Kandu. Paul Hind, thanks for joining me on the show. I think a lot of people in the States aren't really aware of the issues going on at the moment in regards to the sectors and a lot of your work. So it'd be great if you could introduce yourself, what it is that you're doing at the moment and how you came about.
Well, I am Commander Hind from the 75th century and I command a warcraft. The 75th century warcraft, of course. warp enabled. It has to be warp enabled. I did previously command one that wasn't warp enabled, but I do now it's warp enabled. So. Yeah.
And you've described the UK's standard intergalactic tower a lot, and you say it's pivotal in defending 300 billion sectors of humanity. Could you explain what exactly sectors are and how they contribute to humanity's survival against threats like the Condu?
A sector is a part of a planet, and then in the sectors you do have quadrants. A sector is like a country, and then the quadrants are like the borders, as you could say.
For those of us here in the 21st century, could you explain what Trevlock is and why it's so crucial to the Warcraft of the 75th century?
Trevlock, it's an organic element that's found in the atmosphere of planets. It's a natural occurring element, and it was discovered in the 37th century by a doctor, actually in a rock. It was actually originally we thought it was in the rock, but researchers later found that it was on the rock, actually on top of the rock. So
just what
Trevlock
really is. Well, let me put it this way, Eddie. The possibilities of
Trevlock
are limitless.
So you talk about the Kandu quite a lot, and they're described as like ancient and an enigmatic force. Yet we've apparently been unaware of them for centuries. Like, what are they? What are they doing?
They've probably been around longer than humans, I would have thought. So far, traveling through all the galaxies, well, sectors, galaxies, they are the only opposition that we have come across.
Bro, you know, if this was just some, I guess, alien transmission from the world Zafronia from Sector 75, I would have accepted that. You know, but this guy's just straight up insane. Does he believe everything he's spewing? Why is there so much lore? But yeah, he has like over 200,000 of followers, so I think someone knows what's going on. It's certainly not me. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's view farming like Ice Cream Guy, or if he's just straight up delusional. Like, what? While I was investigating the Trevlock files, you know, I found someone that did a parody of him. Some lady did a parody of him. And I don't think she knows, you know, the full story or how bad he is.
We've heard recently of powerful elements like the water of Magami and Flomphonine.
It looks like I have a mustache with this thing, dude. There's lore, there's spin-offs of this guy, there's fan content. At this point, there's probably like a whole fandom of Paul Hind and his schizophrenia, you know, like Star Wars or something, you know. The Trevlockian Files and the mysterious Sector 75, you know, something like that. Somehow it feels like I'm the only person that doesn't know what the hell's going on. Why am I the only person that questions people like this? Again, you know, his name is Paul. Dang, his name's Paul. You know, he's just a guy. Or maybe he really is, you know, the kind savior, you know, the Supreme Commander of Trevlock, saving us from Sector 75 of the Dimension 6. But yeah, I don't know. There's different colors of Trevlock, like some sort of Teletubbies.
And then below the white, you've got the red, and then the green. And they are the three dangerous variants, and then the ones before that are actually safe to humans. So you've got the blue. The blue was perfectly harmless. Then you've got the orange, purple, and the pink. They're perfectly harmless. They won't do any harm.
Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, please subscribe.
Ahhhh.